Hi, Sarah,
Hi, how are
and
you?
welcome to the Plants on Wheels podcast. We're really excited to have you here today to talk all things tempeh, and we want to get into what actually started this whole thing. Was there a person, a meal, or a memory that started it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have been vegan for 17 years, I think,
Amazing.
and eating lots of tempeh and tofu. And I was thinking about what my next adventure would be about 7 years ago, in 2019. Yeah, 7 years ago. And I had done a previous food company and I wanted to do things so differently this time. I learned so much, but one of the main things I learned was that I wanted to align whatever my next adventure was with my values. So I knew it was going to be vegan and I wanted it to be an essential food. I didn't want to be creating any more, you know, unneeded things in the world. I wanted it to be a protein. And so there's a really great tofu company already in Maine called Heiwa Tofu. And
Oh, okay.
so I didn't want to compete with them. And I thought, wow, tempeh would be amazing. It's such a unsung hero and kind of a sleeping giant in many ways that so I started looking into it and I immediately learned how it was made commercially by being fermented in single use plastic bags. And I thought, oh my God. First, I thought, I've been eating tempeh for a long time and had no idea that that inner bag was what they were actually fermenting it in. And I thought, that's a disconnect, something so healthy made in such a pretty much unhealthy way and unsustainable. So I thought, okay, I'm doing tempeh, and here's our way of being differentiated
Yeah.
by not fermenting in plastic bags. And little did I know that it was going to take 3 years to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's like you're taking on this challenge that you knew was going to take you longer to get it out there. But, I think that's very unique and very ambitious of you, because you saw the gap, that was, and you feel,
Yeah, and I think
yeah,
because because we were starting from scratch and didn't have an ongoing operation, it made it easier. And I think it's one of the reasons why no one else has done it because it is really hard and it takes a lot of investment and a lot of trial and error. And you'd have to stop everything in order to be able to do that. And if you've got an ongoing business, that's going to be incredibly disruptive and hard to do. So yeah, so that we had that as an advantage, I think, and but we almost gave up a number of times because it was not easy, and we made some very weird tempeh along the way. But finally figured it out, and it just works amazingly well. It's just a metal pan with a lid, and yeah, we had to figure out how many holes and how far apart are the holes and how big are the holes because tempeh is really hard to make. It's very temperamental and needs exact conditions for its environment as well as whatever container that it's in. The little plastic bags have tiny, tiny little holes. If you take that inner bag and fill it with water, it just squirts out all, it's full of little holes because the tempeh, when it ferments about halfway in, it generates its own heat and it
oh,
needs to off gas. And if you don't let that CO2 and ammonia, whatever else is in there out, it will not complete the fermentation. It will basically, the mycelium will die. So
very interesting. I
it is.
mean,
It's a fascinating food. A lot of people don't even realize that it's fermented. That it, like, it takes 2 days to make. It's 24 hours. Yeah, and it's just like such an incredible superfood. Who wouldn't want to like put this incredible superfood into the world? It's got twice the protein of tofu. It has so much fiber. It's so fiber rich. And it's got all the benefits of fermentation. It's a prebiotic, so it really helps you absorb nutrients. And it has all the B vitamins. It's a complete protein, lots of iron and calcium. I mean, it's just like, I could go on and on. It's like,
It is a superfood on steroids.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean,
And they don't, and a lot of people don't realize that the beans, when they go into the fermentation room, are just cooked beans. They've been inoculated with a mushroom culture called Rhizopus oligosporus and a little bit of vinegar to balance the pH. And so it's such a really clean protein. But so it goes in like just cooked loose beans. And then over the period of 24 hours, the mycelium, the mushroom, grows because you've given it the environment for a mushroom to grow. And it binds the beans together and becomes this solid cake. So, basically we're growing mushrooms in that fermentation room. And after 24 hours, there's like this beautiful coating of white mycelium. It looks like velvet, white velvet. It's so, so pretty, and it smells so delicious. So that's how it works. It's just incredible.
yeah, it's fascinating just the process. And I love that you described the process because for a lot of people that don't know what tempeh is, you start explaining it to them and you lose them and they just don't want to, just learn, you can actually get protein from soybeans. Yeah. I mean, before we got on and started, I couldn't help myself but congratulate you for winning the 2026 Good Food Award. That's huge, in my opinion, for a tempeh brand. And we just want to know when you got the news, like, what did that moment feel like for you and your team, and who was
Aw.
the first person you called?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was really exciting. It's the first time Tempeh's won an award like this, and what they based the award on is a two-tiered judging. They first do a blind taste test, just based on the taste and flavor. And if they like it, you get moved on to the final round of evaluations, which is based on your company. What are your values? How do you treat your employees? How sustainable? What are your practices, around use of plastics, everything. And we're a totally vegan, values-driven company. So that was where I think we also shined. I mean, it's based on taste, quality, and your responsible production practices. And those are the three areas that we totally focus on. So we felt validated, because our tempeh, honestly, it does taste better than other tempeh. For some reason, we haven't figured out exactly why. We have no bitter aftertaste, which is the thing that plagues, I think, tempeh a lot. People either don't like it because of the bitter aftertaste, or they've figured out how to get rid of the bitterness by boiling and steaming it or something like that, which is a huge 15-minute addition to your cooking time, and also just kind of washes it out. And then we're a softer texture, we're nuttier, butter, just like all those things. This is what we hear from people and that we experience ourselves. And so it was really wonderful to be acknowledged for all that hard work and basically opening the door for everyone to enjoy tempeh who may not have, who have wanted to eat it but haven't liked it. Now it's like, you can enjoy this now and get all those benefits.
That misconception that people have that tempeh has that bitter taste, I feel like that's really important. You paid attention to that, and I can tell that quality means a lot to you. So, where are the soybeans that you use for your product?
So we are working with a Maine organic soybean farmer up in the farthest county, Aroostook County. We were working with them for a while, and then we had to process the beans ourselves, and then it became too much. And we
Yeah.
were also told that the dust particles from milling the beans ourselves was creating a food safety hazard in our space. So we had to switch to a split and dehulled that we purchased just a little bit north in Quebec, because our farmer did not have the equipment to do it. So we worked with our farmer to get a USDA grant to actually purchase the equipment. So we
Wow.
are switching back to our main farmer because we're very dedicated to sourcing locally and supporting the local economy. But we will always have backups in Canada because they produce really good soybeans too. It's just a little farther north. It's like a couple hours north, but it's you know. But yeah, so and then we do a lot to inspect the beans once they've been fermented. So we don't allow any sporulation. We don't allow any, which we don't actually have a problem with. I don't know if you know what that is. The sporulation are the black dots or black streaks that you sometimes see on tempeh. That
Yeah.
means it's fermented for too long. It's a quality
Oh,
control issue. It doesn't necessarily make the tempeh taste bad, but to a consumer, it looks bad. And
yeah.
so we care about that. And so we don't have any of that. And we also don't allow like miscolored or discolored beans to get through. Yeah, so we eat those cakes ourselves when that happens.
That's a good, I guess a good con. You get to eat them.
All right.
So I guess when you're making new flavors, you're also having a lot to eat after the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. We have both. We have a traditional, which is like our plain tempeh,
Hmm.
which sells the most because then you can do whatever you want with it. But we did introduce a couple of years ago a curry seasoned tempeh, which is so delicious, and it's actually fermented with the curry seasoning
In
in
it
the
already.
in the beans. So they're fermenting with the beans overnight, and it's like an infusion of the curry. It's an Indian curry. It's not a Thai curry, so it's not spicy. But it's really delicious, and we won a Good Food Award for each of those products. So I can vouch for both of them. And then we're working on a bacon, a
Oh,
tempeh
wow.
bacon, which we did some market research, and that was the top flavor that our target market wanted, and we just couldn't come out with it right away because we didn't have the equipment to marinate, which is why curry had come in second, why we introduced the curry, because that was easier to produce. And but now we have a new machine that does marinating, and so we're starting to do product development on a yummy bacon.
Yeah, that sounds super yummy, and I can't wait to see when it finally comes out.
Thank you.
All these things that you're talking about within, building your business sounds very complex, but maybe to you it's like it's your language. And since running a business, what has it taught you about yourself that you didn't know before?
Well, I've spent my career mostly in nonprofits, but I also did another consumer foods company I told you about. It was really important as a business this time to kind of model the world we want to see, and there's such a huge imbalance of wealth and power and in our
Oh yeah.
in our society. We decided from the very beginning we would be a worker-owned cooperative so that there's total equity amongst employees and ownership and sharing in the profits. That's again our values, trying to create a more equitable economy, and also just demonstrate to other, non-cooperative companies that this is a viable option. You can compete, and you can treat people a whole lot better. And so we have investors, but they do not have any voting rights, and they can't sit on our board. So we have complete control as worker owners, and that was really important to me. And there's 5 of us now, and the production team that are worker owners, they walk into our production facility and they know they own everything in the room, and so they're going to take really good care of it, and they do, and they stay longer, and they're more committed. So that's been a really wonderful experience, just to kind of dream about and then make happen. Yeah, and in general, just supporting the local community and other local food producers. We have so many friends, and we help each other out. We share truckloads when someone has some room in a truck, things like that we're lifting each other up. Yeah.
Yeah, you just went into the next question I was going to ask you, like, how does Tootie's Tempeh show up in the community? And it's clear that you guys are very closely tight-knit, the whole community, and you guys have each other's back, and that's great, as well as the type of work environment you created. It just
Thanks.
sounds like
Yeah.
everyone, they're waking up and they know like they're happy to go make the best tempeh. Like,
Yeah, we do a lot in our local community. We made tempeh for the mayor's inauguration, and we do events around the community and in the stores in the community, and we're involved in the state level. We're involved in sort of the local food movement, on a bunch of different committees, and participate in conferences. We're on the board of the Cooperative Maine Business Alliance, trying to encourage more businesses to become co-ops and support them in that journey. We go to a lot of entrepreneurial events that are all for Maine entrepreneurs, and support them that way. Just very. In fact, we won the governor's Business Excellence Award this year for our innovation in developing a plastics-free fermentation process, and so that
yeah,
was being recognized at the state
yeah,
level was really nice too.
yeah. I mean, compared to other proteins, how does tempeh hold up for the planet? You've been mentioning a lot throughout is not using plastic, which is amazing that you were able to fine tune your formula to make the tempeh still as delicious as it is without how other brands make it.
Yeah, we basically make it the same. We just don't
Mhm.
ferment it in plastic. But then we do have one layer of plastic after it's fermented. It has to be vacuum sealed and all the oxygen removed so that it has a shelf life. So we're one layer of plastic instead of 2, and not fermented
And
in
plastic bag.
plastic. It's we had we were approached by students from the Columbia University's School of Sustainability Management, and they did a life cycle analysis of our tempeh, and a greenhouse gas
Cool.
analysis. And
Yeah.
it's like, tempeh, you just can't get a more sustainable food. You honestly can't. And if you do things more locally, that increases that sustainability even more. And if you use less plastic, so
It's a
yeah,
win-win
it's
and
it's
all around.
it's really nice to have been able to achieve that, when that was our goal in the first place. So yeah.
Yeah, I love your vision and how you're so committed to keeping the brand sustainable for all. And I can only imagine in the next 5 years, you know, what you guys are looking to do, and the sustainability of contributing to the planet and everything. Someone's listening right now and they are about to start their own plant-based brand. How would you tell them?
Well, I think, have a vision. write it down and build your values. I mean, actually start with your values. You know, what kind of a company do you want? How do you want to treat your employees? How do you want to relate with your community? What is your goal? You know, it can be. It doesn't have to be a financial goal at all. It can be to feed the community. You know, whatever, like what you're doing. But if you're doing a product and you are vegan, I would encourage everyone to think about true vegan values of considering more than just the animals, but the planet and other people and social justice. So that, you know, what does that look like? And then build your plan, like build a scaffolding around that, and then start talking to people who are in the similar, trying to do similar things. Really study what worked, what didn't work, and then just get into the nitty gritty of like naming it and developing the product and working with an advisory board. Build your advisory board, create a board of directors, make sure you have a business plan. And there's so much support out there for entrepreneurs. We've relied on, we were in an incubator for co-ops called Start.coop that was the first thing we did, and it came with an investment. And then from there we went to Maine Center for Entrepreneurs, and we're in 3 of their programs: Top Gun, Food Tech, and Food Accelerator. 3 different programs. As we grew, we graduated into their different programs where you get mentors and programs and one-on-one learning, and all of that exists in every single state. And there's even a manufacturing extension partnership program that helps you if you're actually manufacturing. How do you get the most efficiencies out of, you know, what kind of equipment do you need? Like, what's going to help you, you know, shave an hour off of your production time? There's a lot of resources, and I think we all need to support each other. So I'm part of the sort of Vegpreneur WhatsApp discussion, and that's a very lively discussion group where people share things, ask questions, and I'm also part of the Plant-Based Foods Association. I'm on their board, and that's another place for networking and learning and supporting. And then they're doing a lot in terms of lobbying for the entire plant-based foods industry. And so it's important to keep up with that and support it in any way we can, on the state level as well as national. Just dive in and find where your passions are going to be singing.
I feel like you are a natural for the tempeh, creating it, just hearing you talk about it so passionately. And even with as much work that goes into building a brand and learning all the manufacturing stuff, you're still, you know, supporting your community. And that's really amazing, that you know, you're putting in the time for things that you don't have to, but again, you have the value, your values are awesome, in your brand, your company, all of those things. And
There's a lot of support for brand building as well. I should mention the Especially Food Association and the Startup CPG. Those are 2 really geared towards, newer brands, innovative brands, startup brands that do a lot of programming. They even do, like, the Fancy Food Show is put on by the Specialty Food Association, which is a complete zoo, but we've gotten some pretty significant business out of it. And, you know, it's all, again, it's like relationship building is probably one of the most important things.
yeah, I think so too. Building your community, no matter, you know, what you do, they're going to follow. I truly believe that. So now we're gonna get into some rapid fire questions, just
Okay.
so our audience could learn a little bit more about you, a little bit about what you like to eat, and a little bit more about your personality. So, what's your favorite tempeh dish that you make at home?
tempeh falafel. It's
Oh,
so unbelievable. And you just replace the chickpeas with tempeh and
oh.
I like it better than regular falafel.
And it has more protein.
Exactly. I just add tempeh. I just replace anything with tempeh. In fact, I'm making tempeh banana bread right now to go to the artisan bread fair up in northern Maine tomorrow. People come from all over the country to learn from bread artisans. And, you know, tempeh is a legume and it's considered part of the grains family. So
Yeah,
we go every year. And this year I thought, well, I'm going to make a bread with tempeh just to show people what you can do with it.
that I would have never thought of a tempeh banana bread at all.
We have a cookbook that is on our website that has that recipe in it, plus some other like crazy desserts and things like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, what is the weirdest or most surprising way someone's used your tempeh? The banana bread, I think, is surprising. Def-
Yeah. Let's see. What was that? Someone made it into Parmesan cheese.
Oh, yes, I've seen that before online.
Yeah, it was like a TikTok thing. I mean, it wasn't our tempeh, but just in general, what the crazy
Yeah.
things you can do with tempeh. I thought that one was pretty wild. I have not tried it yet, but I mean, I made strawberry rhubarb crumble, and the crumble was tempeh. I throw it into, you know, protein shakes. You can use it as toast. I've made French toast out of it. I mean, there's like, yeah, you can have so
Actually
much fun with
sounds
it.
so versatile. Oh my goodness. I've only had it as bacon. I didn't know all these other things were possible.
Yeah, like just crumbling it, for example. You can make tacos, chili, spaghetti sauce, sloppy joes, like chili crisp, uh, you know, pizza topping, a million things. It's like how you flavor it, and there's just like, yeah, no,
Super
it's
good.
so fun. I'm like you. I didn't know how. I like had one tempeh recipe, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm expanding my horizons and cooking more things from scratch and it's
Nice.
very, very enjoyable. And I'm gonna start with tempeh next.
Nice. Yeah. Well, definitely take a look at our cookbook because there's
Oh
some
yeah.
pretty wild and fun and very simple recipes too.
Love simple. So lastly, if you had to describe Tootie's tempeh in one word, what would that be?
Uh, I've connected, I guess, because of the mycelium. I love that, like, and how we connect to everything, even the product, community, like the world, people's health, supporting the animals. Yeah,
Yeah, that is the perfect word. Everything's united.
yeah.
I love that so much. I had such a great time talking to you, and thank you for this conversation, for your knowledge, and for the impact that you have on the vegan world and also to non-vegans that will come around, I feel like.
No, absolutely. They're
Well,
like 80% of our customers. Yeah, they're just trying to eat healthier
that's
and
amazing.
yeah. So yeah,
That's
it's lovely to
amazing.
meet you, and I love what you're doing as well. And kudos and congrats.
Yeah, we appreciate that so much. And I'm sure we will be talking again in the future.
Yeah, I hope to meet you when I come to New York. That would be
Absolutely.
fun.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Sarah.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.